fully reflective, you know, just less than 24 hours after coming off a playoff series. But when you look at what you guys set out to accomplish in training camp this year, talking about being a top defense, doing things by committee, making the playoffs, just how proud are you of this group and what they were able to accomplish?
Exceptionally so. You know, I'm not a big, you know, predictor or goal setter. You know, we want to practice, play the right way all times, treat each other the right way, and we always believe that the results will follow. And so the way that these guys conducted themselves through adversity, the way they held themselves accountable to one another, is for such a young group of players, I thought really impressive. And you know, couldn't be more proud of them, not just for the wins and losses, but just who they are as people and the way they propped each other up and really, you know, came through the season, I would say, showing everybody who they are.
We've heard from so many guys throughout the course of the season how unique kind of the culture, how unique the camaraderie was between the players. What made this team special on that front?
They made it special. You know, we have a great high character group of, you know, players, and I want to say this actually, you know, the coaches have done a terrific job. Our players have done a terrific job. There's 70 people in this building that come in every day, and they do a terrific job. They work together. They prop one another up. They work really hard to put our players and our coaches in a position to succeed, to enter the game prepared from every possible facet. And I really want to, I wish I could name all 70 of their names, but you guys have already waited long enough, so I won't do that to you. But it really matters, you know, the organization matters. And so the reason that they have great camaraderie and great chemistry is because they're great people. You know, they create it. You know, it's theirs to create. It's theirs to own.
Is there a sense that these first 3 years have been somewhat of a chapter for you guys as you've kind of started from scratch and moved to the playoffs, and now that you're in the playoffs, it's like the next step for you guys?
That's a great question. I don't really think of it in those terms. I think every day just kind of going home, how can we get better? Where do we need to get better? Where can we game plan to get better? And I believe that our whole organization, that everybody who does their job kind of goes home and asks themselves that, and that's how you're able to drive it forward. Obviously, it is a big deal for us to make the playoffs. I mean, that's a milestone for a young team, especially to make the playoffs. So, but I don't look at that as you know, a chapter or a place in you know, I do think that every time you achieve a milestone, it's new. You learn new information, and it might send a signal to the rest of the league that okay, they're at a certain level now. And so whatever that means, from teams understanding what you're trying to accomplish this summer, from maybe free agents wanting to look at your place as a potential destination, definitely, you know, signals to people that, hey, the Magic are coming.
And what information for this season, what does that signal for you?
I'm sorry, asking.
Where does now that you've made the playoffs, now that you've had this year of information, what does that signal for you for what's next?
Well, I think we learned a lot about the character of our team. I think we learned where our guys propped one another up. I think that, you know, there's still, like, when you go into a playoff series, you know, it magnifies everything, it compresses everything, it teaches you a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your team. I also don't want to take too much from that. It's just one series and it's against one opponent. Some of this stuff now, we will allow all these guys to get out of here for a little bit, decompress. We will regroup and kind of assemble the pieces back together. We'll go through the draft process. We will start to hear from other teams, and we'll figure out next steps. You know, we have a lot of difficult decisions to make.
Jeff, along those lines, you've got some cap space to work with. I mean, what kind of are some of your thought processes going forward over the summer with that, and how you want to address maybe some of the needs the team maybe wants to have going into next season?
Yeah, well, I mean, cap space can be used in an array of ways, and I'm not exactly sure yet how we'll look to target our needs. Sometimes it can be done through trades, it can be done through draft. Obviously, when I stood here last year and I talked about internal growth, I mean, if you think about what we've done this year, we added Joe Ingles and 2 rookies, and we went from 34 to 47. So there are a lot of different ways to address improvement. Obviously, cap space is an instrument that we have at our disposal this summer. It won't be there forever, but it has to be used wisely, and it has to be used with future planning in mind. So those will all be things that we discuss as we kind of regroup, and it's all layered into the kind of like getting ready for the draft, and then free agency right behind that, and it's all so close together these days that it's one big mess. So that's what we'll kind of address when we get back.
Jeff, I know it's only the day after, but you've mentioned needs a couple of times. Are you prepared now that you can say what your needs are?
Well, I think we have a lot of needs. I know that the most like publicly highlighted need, if I were to ask, would probably be shooting. But I think that there are a lot of different ways to address shooting even, and I look at some of our guys I would say had, down shooting years that I would expect to be better. I think that's part of our internal growth. Obviously, we can add free agents. We can draft players. I will say this, for whatever it's worth, since January 1st, we were the 14th, I believe, three-point percentage team in the NBA. So I don't believe we are totally bereft of shooting. I think some of this is guys grow up, they get better, they find their rhythm, and when you have a team as young as ours, when we talk about player development, this is part of developing a player is shooting, and they get better as the longer they're in the league. It's kind of a pretty linear chart in that respect. So I do feel that it's an area where we obviously want to look to get better, but not at the expense of the things that cost us our DNA. There's a reason we were a good team this year, and we don't want to lose that.
One of the other things that was kind of highlighted throughout the year is that how young this team is. How do you balance fostering that internal growth, making sure that those young players are supported and still kind of injecting the team with maybe some new pieces or some new players that can help them get over that hump or help make things a little easier for them?
That is a great question. And, as the team continues to improve, we've been very intentional about keeping a pathway for all of our young players to grow and develop. And obviously, we believe in all these young guys or they wouldn't be here. And that said, the bar gets raised a little bit as you start to win games. So, those will be part of the discussions that we have about, improving our team, how much of that can come internally. We don't want to lose the North Star of our team, which is that our 3 leading scorers are 22 and under, and I know there are a lot of good things that happened to our team this year. Now it's up to us to earn our way into repeating that, and we don't take that for granted. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to keep our place held, and then we build from there. So those will be part of the discussions. And then look, a lot of the questions you guys are asking, how do you do this, how do you do that? These involve partners. These involve conversations with other teams, with agents at the right time for free agency. And it's not just we're in a vacuum here and we're just going to go do this or do that. It takes dance partners, and we have to feel what other teams are looking to do. We obviously have to go through the draft process. So, that will all unfold in the next, whatever it is, 6, 7, 8 weeks.
You mentioned the North Star. 3 of your top scorers are 22 and under. Franz and Jalen are both eligible for extensions this summer. How important is that to get done this summer for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a huge component of the summer. Is we have young players who are extension eligible. Again, that gets layered into free agency and the draft, and obviously, we want to try to keep together our core and build, not subtract. That said, I've told you guys for a while now, cap space is great, but this is coming at all of us, especially with the new CBA. We have a lot of hard decisions to make coming up. And so that starts this summer. So we'll obviously engage with the representatives for the players that are extension eligible. We'll be hopeful that we can, come to some sort of agreement. But, we'll go forward and do the best we can do and continue to grow the team that we have.
Jeff, as you look at growth, what Paolo was able to do in his second year in the NBA, how impressed were you with his regular season, what he did in the playoffs, and even in a pivotal Game 7?
I mean, how can you not be wildly impressed with Paolo, man? To be able to lock in and process through the season within a game, as quickly and as efficiently as he does at age 21 is just kind of, I don't know what to say. It's uncommon. You just haven't seen that happen that often in this league. So those are obviously coupled with his physical abilities and gifts. He's got a tremendous potential, a tremendous future in front of him, and most importantly, he is 100% motivated by winning and lifting up others, whatever that takes. So obviously we're extremely excited about Paolo. Thrilled to have him on the team. And, I think his growth and his potential speak for themselves. There's nothing really that I can add.
With as quickly as he did that, do you think it's motivating the other young guys to maybe expedite their growth and their getting better at their games to where, that'll make it easier for you on this roster to roll some things back?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think it's the question of, when you talk about internal growth, what are you growing? And part of that is even leadership, and I think that our young guys are very self-aware. They're great teammates. Nobody wants to assume that they can take something that they haven't earned, and they all know that about one another. And so, yeah, when the team gets better and we win more games, the bar gets raised for everybody. And obviously Paolo's a huge driver of that, and that gets spread out to the whole team, and that's a good thing. That's how you win. So yeah, I think it's a great point.
Jeff, so often when you spoke since you got here, it was about giving fans a team that they could be proud of. The fan support this season, was tremendous. Like all kinds of attendance records. When you look at your team's record at home and in the playoffs, how good it was. How much did you feel that bond continue to grow between the team and the fans?
I mean, I hope they're proud of us. I really hope that they're proud of our players. I can tell you that our players are so appreciative of our fans. I don't think we would have had this season without them. And, we don't ever take that for granted. We have the best fans in the league, and they really showed who they are in the playoffs, man. And I hope they had fun, and I hope that they're excited about the ride that we're all about to go on. But it doesn't happen without them. So I say a big shout out, a big thanks to the fans.
Jeff, after how this season went, going into the draft and into free agency, how attractive do you think the Orlando Magic is to players and new players coming into the league?
I think we're growing. I think that we have a lot of momentum, a lot of people that I run into, through the course of the season, and especially as we kind of like head into the playoffs, and even in the last couple of days, have really, expressed an enthusiasm for what we're doing here. The one thing that excites me is I know that everybody here emanates that outwardly. Even the building that we're standing in right now. It all brings us together, and I feel like we are definitely becoming a place that players want to play, and a team with a locker room and a coaching staff that guys want to be a part of. And one thing I do believe, I always believe NBA players want to be part of something bigger than themselves. They work really hard. It's a team sport. They all know that they need everything to prop them up to be successful. And I believe that we will attract those sorts of people. And I think we're on our way. We have a lot of work to do. We've had one, season where we kind of made the playoffs, and, we need to do a lot better than that. But I think we're on the way.
How do you feel about Jett's rookie year? You drafted him pretty high. You got to get a lot of reps in the G League. You've got the 18th pick in next month's draft. Do you feel like using Jett as a G League guy, could that be like a strategy used in the future potentially for this pick?
Well, I think a lot of teams use the G League. You know, I mean, there were a lot of lottery picks that spent a lot of time in the G League this year. I won't name names, but you know, you guys know who spent time there. The G League is a great resource. I think the days are long gone where the G League was kind of you know, looked at as oh, we're sending you down, or some sort of like punishment. The G League is a tremendous resource to play, get high level reps. We care greatly about our coaching staff and our management staff in the G League being very wedded to our organization, and everything that they do down there, we're like interlocked. So I think Jett had a great rookie year. Now obviously it's not going to show up to the fans who come to the Orlando games, but Jett had a great rookie year. He got so much better in a lot of areas that we had targeted when we drafted him. And you know, when we talk about the team needs shooting, you know, Jett's a very talented young man. He's worked really hard. He's expressed the humility and the drive and the work ethic to, it doesn't matter where I am, I'm here to get better. I'm here to get better so that when I'm coming to Orlando, I'm ready to help the team. And so I'm really excited about like the season that he had, the way that the G League was used, and as to, you know, and I have to say, give props to Coach Dillon and Kevin Tiller for the job they did to set up Osceola the way that they did, because it really did function, you know, at a high level for us, and it really did benefit Jett. As to this draft pick, I don't know. You know, we'll see what that looks like, who that guy is, what his needs are. It's not like we just pick a guy and send him to the G League. It's more, what does this player need? What are the things that we're targeting, and how best are those needs addressed? And for Jett, we felt they were best addressed by getting his reps in the G League.
Everyone good? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks, Jett.
Thank you guys, appreciate you.
That's good. Everybody good?
Go for it. Yep.
Coach, when you look back at this season, you know, how much of your tenets, the things that you came in focused on, did you feel your group achieved this season?
I think that we accomplished a lot in that. I think we did a great job of, you know, handling the highs and lows of the season. What we wanted to accomplish both defensively as our calling card, I thought that was great. Our young guys learned how to win in this league, which was what we've talked about from the beginning of the year. You talk about the support that we had from our fans, from the city. I mean, those are things that, you know, you'll look back on and say, you know, you got better, you grew, and you built something very special for years to come.
Jamahl, when you look back on this season, what are you the most proud of?
The growth of the group, I really do. You know, you start the beginning of the year not knowing exactly how strong this group could be and what they could become. And last night stings probably more because that group knew exactly what they were capable of. And I really do believe they felt it in each one of those moments. But the growth of the group, the experiences that they had, never getting too high, never getting too low, being able to win the games that we won when people didn't expect it. But that group in that locker room, they did, and I think that's the sting of this moment.
When you first took the job in 2021 and you thought about what the team, not personnel-wise, but as far as chemistry and cohesiveness would look like at this point, is this kind of what you envisioned it would be?
This is a special group, and we'll say it over and over again. This group is tied together, pulling for one another, making sure that they're pulling for the next man, and I think this is exactly what you envision a group of young men to be, especially in this league, where it could be individual, but these guys all pull for one another, no matter what the circumstances are, and that's the power and the beauty of this group.
It's a very special group, as you mentioned, and of course, it's not going to be fully the same. How do you mourn that?
Well, you embrace it. You embrace it as part of what this business is, as in the NBA, but that doesn't take away who each one of these young men are to this group and this organization. You know, we've had changes over the years, but who we know we are every time you step on this floor with the Orlando Magic is who you have to be on and off the court. And I really do believe that each one of those guys embraces that, and that's why we constantly talk about on and off the court is so important with this group.
From your perspective, what does this team need to do to improve in the offseason?
Well, obviously reflecting back, you look at, shooting. There's some aspects that we'll look at, just being able to dissect it a little bit more in this offseason will be very important. Obviously, last night you're still looking at that and thinking about certain things you could have done differently, looked at. But right now, that's one of the aspects that we'll look into. But for the most part, it's going to be a long evaluation process in the summer of what we'll need to do to keep getting better. And then a big portion of it is just our young guys continuing to get better and work on aspects of their game.
Emotionally, how hard is it to separate the result last night and the accomplishments of the entire season?
I really believe because of the way we've kept the perspective all year, it's not as difficult as it may seem, because throughout the year we haven't always been attached to outcomes. We've been attached to the process of how we're improving, how we are getting better, how we're growing as a group, how we're gaining experience. So, like I said last night, and I just told the guys in there, this stings. And if you didn't care, it wouldn't sting. And these guys cared because they know exactly what they were capable of doing, and there was a belief system in that locker room of how good we can be and how good we're going to be. But separating it, you don't necessarily want to do that because you know this is a step in the direction of what we've said this group is going to become. And sometimes in the losses, the same loss that we would have had against Sacramento hurt the same way that a Game 7 can hurt, because you're learning something from it. But you have to learn from it, so that reflection is something that we have to look at.
With that core or with that culture, how attractive does that make for free agency or pulling somebody in to join this group?
Well, it's got to be the right person to join this group. You don't want to make moves for the sake of making moves. You have a group of young men, again, that we've talked about, that pull for one another, that strive for one another, that lift each other up and empower each other to do the right thing and play the right way and defend at a high level and share the basketball, all of those things. And when you put pieces into that, you want to make sure it's the piece that fits both on and off the court.
Over the course of your tenure here, we've seen the jump players have made from year one to year two. How big of a summer can this be for AB and Jett?
I think it's a huge summer. I think for them to realize and recognize what it means to be a playoff team, to get to a Game 7, to battle throughout the year, and them to experience it and be part of it. They believe and they understand exactly how hard you have to work, how physical it can be, how taxing it can be on your body. So making sure you're taking care of your body and your mind throughout the summer to make sure you're putting yourself in position to give yourself a chance.
As big as home court was in this series, on the broadcast they made such a big deal out of it. Was one game, between the 4 and the 5. Is that warranted, or how much do you think about that as you're coming back on the plane ride or anything like that?
Absolutely thinking about it, and that's the hard part, but also the beauty of what the discussion can be next January when you've got a game in Cleveland on the road and you know it's a team you can get, and that's how important it is. It's important that you go to Charlotte and you understand at the end of the season how important that one game is. And so the hard part of it is experiencing it, but the beauty is going through that experience and knowing you can reflect on it next year and say, this is why these 1 and 2 games that seem meaningless on a Tuesday in January are very important to the end of the season.
Jamahl, as you as a coach, how have you grown this year?
That's part of the reflection, that I'll have to take some time and look back at where I can improve to help these guys improve. I think that's what I look at more than anything is, am I doing the best job for my staff, for these guys, to put them in the position to be successful? And I'll have to reflect and evaluate and get some opinions from those around me, the second set of eyes that can see that, to help me understand how I can help everyone else be at their best as well.
the group's been locked in, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I know it's only been less than 24 hours, but how does this break coming up, how will that be important for the group as a whole?
Well, we've talked about being one of the best recovered teams in the league, and so that's part of it. Part of that is taking some time away to spend time with your family, to spend time with those around you that have not had the time with you in this run. And so being able to take some time away, reflect, learn from their experiences, look in the mirror a little bit, and go from there. So it's good to have that time away, but also knowing that when you start to get back to work, how intentional your work has to be.
Does this season seem like a setup for next year? This group seems like they want to take on challenges head on. Now they've set a bar, and they seem to be, as a group, they'll be motivated to overtake that next year, which would be something they could strive for.
Well, we've said it from when we walked in that at the moment you step on this floor and put on an Orlando Magic uniform, you're taking on challenges. You're going to be asked to do things at a different level, both on and off the court. And who you are and what you bring to the table is expected to be at a championship level. And that's what we're demanding from this group and whoever steps into the building from there.
Coach, last year y'all were always talking about making it to the playoffs this year, and you guys did push all the way to the Game 7 with this team. The majority of them, it's their first time in the playoffs. How would you say the team did as you reflect on that? I know it's been a very, very quick turnaround.
Well, like I said last night, I'm so proud of this group. You realize the average age of our group is 24 and some change. So for them to go through this experience, to handle the ups and downs, the quote-unquote physicality of the game, I think they handled it very well. To not get rattled, to play with a sense of poise, to understand the gravity of each moment. I think they did a great job with that for a young group. But it's just for us and for them knowing that it's just the beginning of what we're capable of, and that's why I think them going through it, you have to go through the experience to understand exactly what it takes to get to the next level.
Everyone good?
Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Thank you,
all
Coach.
for everything. Thank you for the year. Appreciate it.
Reflective after your season ends less than 24 hours ago. But for your group entering this season, so many of your goals, whether it be being a top 5 defensive team, playing by committee on offense, making the playoffs, you guys were able to achieve. Just how proud are you of your group's ability to do that this season?
Yeah, this was a great year. We set goals, we accomplished our goals, and is it the outcome that we wanted? Obviously not, but we got to look at the positives, and we just got to take those, run with those, and then build on top of that for the summer and in the next season.
Cole, how challenging was this year in terms of some of the health issues and things like that, and getting out there and getting more playing time and things like that? How challenging was that?
I mean, shoot, I feel like this was relatively one of our healthier years, at least since I've been here. So that's not really one of my gripes and complaints right now. But yes, this was a good season, man. This is a good season, man. I'm super proud of everyone on the team. Super proud of Moe. Super proud of the whole coaching staff. Obviously the players. But this was a good year.
Obviously, you'd rather be in Boston than here right now.
Yeah,
but
Boston would have been cool.
Yeah. Obviously this was a very long season for you guys, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually taxing. How much of a relief is it to kind of, let go of it after going at it so long so hard for so long?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely cool to have the time off, but I think a lot of us live and breathe this game, and it gets a little awkward for a little when you first when you're in such a routine for a long time, and all of a sudden you're not in that routine anymore. So, but it's the summer, man. We're gonna adjust and we're gonna regroup, and we'll be back here next year.
What's something you'd want to work on your personal game over the summer?
Shoot, I'm gonna work on everything. I mean, I think my biggest thing for me, I'm gonna work on is just shoot, trying to take care of my mental health. Whether it's just talking about it, whatever it is, just trying to do all I can to have as little distractions on the court next year, and I think that'll be my main focus. But I'm gonna be in the gym, I'm gonna be grinding. That's regular stuff. But yeah, I think that's the main thing.
To finish with the last couple of games that you had playing the way you did, how much does that help as you?
I mean, I wasn't playing that well, but it was cool. I mean, it was dope to be in the playoffs. I'm super blessed and happy to be in this position, and not just to be in this position, to be in this position with the people around me, and just the players, coaches, front office, whoever it is. I'm just super grateful and thankful, and I can't wait till next season.
You're part of that core that's been here for a few years now. How much is that?
I'm one of the OGs. Me, Kel, J.I. You feel me? I'm one of the OGs in the game.
Right. To see how much this franchise really has changed over the last few years. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, we've completely remixed this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I first got here, I'm in Amway. That's where our practice facility is. I see the weight room. I see the showers. I'm like, dang, UNC is nicer than this. But then, they went and remixed it a little more, and we got this whole sexy practice facility. And I'm like, all right, I can work with this. I don't mind coming in here 7 days a week.
How much does what happened in that Game 7, how much does that inspire you guys? Do you think it will motivate you guys going into next season?
Man, I think, just for us, I mean, we were so close to just getting to that next round. And so I think, obviously, that's going to motivate everyone on this team. So I think we'll keep that in the back of our heads for a long time. But, it was such a dope experience, man. We were all so blessed to be in that position. And I can't wait till next year.
Well, you guys were so good at home this season, perfect in the playoffs. How much did you feel that fan support continued to grow throughout the year and the city continue to embrace this team?
The fans are doing their thing all year. Big shout out to them. Not just here at home, but honestly, we had a good few fans who traveled us on the road. Shout out to my man Hank. Big shout out to Hank. Just a big shout out to the fans, man. They did their thing this year. It was a great season, and we can't wait to see y'all next year.
We talked to a lot of the guys this morning. They said that, they talked a little bit about the importance of getting home court advantage next year. Now, games in January and February could have a bigger impact maybe down the road for that. Is that something that you think will be a message throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I don't think we took games for granted this year. At least I don't think we intentionally took any games for granted. But I think, even more next year, we going to not take a single game for granted just because you see how it was in the playoffs. We in a series, we don't lose a game at home, they don't lose a game at home. That home court advantage is a big deal, and I think we see how big of a deal it is now just in terms of how this playoff series went.
You know how tough it is to be a young player in this league, to see what Paolo was able to do
Different.
in year 2, in the playoffs, in a Game 7. Just how impressed are you with what he's put together?
That kid is different, man. He's different. So talented. Super humble, but it's awesome that I get to come in here and work next to my dog every single day. So big shout out to Playoff P. He did his thing, and we'll be spending some time together this summer. I'm gonna make my way out to Seattle, but it's gonna be a good year next year, especially for my man P. Obviously this team too, but P is diff, all NBA.
A lot of the guys talked about decompressing in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What do you want to do for the next couple of weeks to get?
Just put my feet up, relax, watch some Power, BMF, hop on duty, rock with my Pokemon Go.
Watch basketball?
I am gonna watch basketball. I mean. But I'm gonna do some other things I ain't really feel like I get the chance to do during the season. Like not as much as at least I'd want to. You know what I'm saying? Like go to the islands. What they say, Cancun? Mm-hmm. I ain't never been to Cancun, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna be some good times. Put my feet up, relax, go to a white beach or something, clear water. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Not clear water. I'm talking about clear water. You know what I'm saying? Little bars for y'all, but that's about it. All right, fellas.
Pretty good.
Paolo, I know it's hard to be completely reflective after, ending your season just less than 24 hours ago, but when you look at what your group did over the course of the campaign, dating back to training camp, your goals of being a top 10 defense, playing together on offense, making the playoffs, you guys were able to accomplish all that. Just how proud are you of the group as a whole for living up to all that?
Yeah, I would say extremely proud. We pretty much did everything that we said we were going to do, from the summer to training camp, like you said, and then all throughout the year. We never we never wavered in terms of belief and just staying locked in on what the goal was. So even when we took some losses throughout the year and some tough times, like, we just stayed focused and stay locked in on the task at hand. So I'm just super proud of the group as a whole.
Now that you've had a little time to detach, just Game 7, what is that like compared to earlier in the series or regular season? How different is that?
Oh, it's extremely different. I would say just the intensity, the atmosphere. You know, that was probably the most intense game that I played in, just in terms of how intense I was, and just I almost don't remember some of the game just because how just lost in the game I was and how focused I was throughout that game. But I definitely want to get back to that though. That just getting a taste of the playoffs and a full 7-game series, it makes you want more. So
that's what I said. The experience. How invaluable is that for this group and for you? Because that's now the bar.
Yeah, it's extremely valuable. I think just everybody getting to see what that's like and just being so close to advancing and a couple plays, couple shots away. I think it's just gonna motivate everybody and just seeing what we can do. In the playoffs, it's encouraging, and I think it's going to make everybody be better.
What can you take from that game that you can maybe spin, that you take for the future? When you think about playing in those Game 7, playing in a Game 7.
I would just say that those Game 7s, it just comes down to how can you put forth your best effort. In terms as a team, as a player, it almost feels like the whole season it doesn't matter until after that game. So it just was a great experience for everybody, and like I said, I'm sure everybody will learn and just be better from it. But definitely want to experience that again and be on the other end of the loss and win next time.
So many players in this league build their legacy in the postseason. We've gone, head-to-head with a guy like Donovan Mitchell, who afterwards, says you're going to be a monster in this league. What does that kind of respect mean to you that you're garnering it in that fashion?
Yeah, I think just I've always taken respect from my peers as the highest level of respect, just because those guys know what it looks like and what it takes just to play at this level and do the things that we do as players. So just guys saying that, it just means a lot, because that's all I've really wanted since I've gotten in the league, is just to get the respect from everybody as a player, as a competitor. And it was a fun series. We went at it with those guys. It wasn't very friendly. Those 7 games weren't very friendly, and so just to have that respect at the end, it just shows on both sides how great of competitors there were out there. Just leaves myself to be even more motivated.
Paolo, Jamahl and Moe both just mentioned about this kind of showed you, this series showed you the importance of winning, getting that home court advantage. Do you feel like that, like going in January and February next year, playing in some of those games, how important those games could be in the end when it comes to getting maybe this home field advantage in the future?
100%. Yeah, I think my rookie year, I just remember thinking, how important the games were at the beginning of the year in general, just to win, because I remember how much that set us back not winning those games at the start. So I think, this year, after being in the playoffs, I think next year we'll be definitely focused on just, looking ahead in terms of when it's December or January, having home court and the playoffs in the back of your head, to where you know how important that is to clinch a home court spot and be able to be at home those first couple games in the playoffs, because you don't really know how much of effect it has until you experience it. And I can definitely say that home court in the playoffs is it's a lot different than home court in the regular season.
Paolo, you just finished your 2nd year. You know more about this league and the business about it now than what you did when you came in. Rosters aren't 100% the same the next year. What do you want the folks upstairs to do? Run it all back? What do you want to see them do? Because this group is tight. You guys know what you can do. What do you want them to do?
Yeah, I think we have a great group. a lot of guys that really gel well together, and I think the front office did a good job putting this team together and having a vision, and I think they're just going to continue to do that. And so whatever they choose to do, I'm a trust, and I'm sure everyone else will. So I'm excited, honestly, just to see what happens, and if nothing happens, then nothing happens, and we're running all back. So I'm excited.
Coach mentioned the loss stings because this group knows what it's capable of. How much has that changed from the beginning of the season, and what is this group capable of in the future?
I think this group really has no ceiling. I think we just have an ultimate belief in each other and what we can do. And, it took us this far this year, but I think, just with another summer of, working, improving, everybody just having that hunger and motivation, I think we can take it even farther. I think this was just the very start of something special.
What do you
What's
want
next
to work
for
on
you?
the most this summer going into next year for yourself?
Yeah. This summer is really, I've really been thinking about this summer a lot and just what it's going to be like. I've been telling my close friends and family, like, this is my first summer first full summer I get to have where I don't have any, upcoming commitments or anything. Really since I left school, past 2 years have been crazy, especially the summers, just living out of a suitcase and traveling and doing a bunch of stuff. So really just gonna try to get back to the basics this summer, get in the best shape I can, just get back to the stuff that got me here. I'm not saying I wasn't doing that, but just get back home, get around my friends and family. I don't see them hardly at all during the season. So get back and just be around them, get my mind right, my body right, and just really just get back to the basics is the best way I can put it. Get back to the old P.
That's what I was gonna say. What's next for you? Like, what do the next few weeks look like? Do you try to take a break? Do you ease back in? What do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna take a nice break for sure. Definitely gonna take a nice break. It's like I said, it just literally since I got drafted, it just feels like it's been on fast forward. Just from the seasons to the summers, it was always something. So I think this is the first time in a minute that I get to just sit down and relax and just get back to normal. So I'm really excited for that, and I know that I'm gonna get a lot better just with this because all the moving around and stuff is good, but I think there's something when you're able to just get back around the people you love and people you want to be around, and just get back to the good old basics.
Paolo, we saw the fans show out for you guys all season in the playoffs. You guys responded on home court, didn't lose to a single sub-500 team on the home floor. How much did you feel both the team and the city embraced each other this season?
I think it was special this year, I think just from the beginning, we started off really well, and I think the fans really bought in during that time, early in the year, and just stuck with us through the whole season. And then, the playoffs, they took it to another level and really got behind us. It elevated us, just our play, our mentality. We knew we had them behind us every time we stepped foot, at our home court. So it was super exciting, and I'm only, it just makes me even more excited for next year. Because I know the fans are going to be super excited, anticipating, us to be, back to where we are. So it's a new era, it's a new day, and I'm sure the fans are happy.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
When you guys, came here at the start of the training camp, you guys talked about having a top 5 defense, playing by committee on offense, and making the playoffs. For your group to have achieved so many of those goals, how proud are you of the work you've done collectively?
I mean, we knew what we could do, what we were capable of. Just when you look at our roster, I think just everybody can really guard, and we knew that we could do that. It really helped us during the season, because when you travel, on the road, it's one of those games where you just got there and you're tired. And we kept talking about the defense always travels, and defense really helped us win some games on the road and obviously at home. And that's what most wanted. That's what we knew that we could do. We paid a lot of attention to that before the season, during the season, and it really helped us during the season.
You look at status of free agency. Do you want to stick around here for Orlando and play here next year?
Man, I don't even think about that. Yeah, 100%. Like this team, I talked with everybody. I got waived. This guys picked me up off waivers, and I didn't even know if I was gonna stay in the league. I was already thinking about going back to Europe, and this guy just took me in with open arms. I mean, this is the first place. This is like the home, like that I wanna be in. And I mean, if it comes down to that, and I'm still here, I'll be really, really happy. So yeah.
What are your plans in regards to the Olympics and working with the Georgia national team? I
mean, we have qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers. We play in Latvia. We gotta get ready for that. Have training camp. Basically, whole summer we have preparations for that. So we have to win the group to make it to the Olympics. Hopefully, we do that, and we're gonna see.
How much has the experience of playing playoff basketball, being part of this playoff team, planning on helping you towards qualifying for the Olympics?
I mean, I didn't get to play, but but it's a great experience. I'm joking. Yeah. Yes, of course, being around the guys, the toughness. I mean, it's kind of similar to the European basketball, the playoffs, the toughness and not getting that many foul calls and being really tough in defense. A lot of hits, guys hitting each other. But I mean, I could say it's a great experience, but I think I've been there. I've played the EuroLeague, where it's like every single game is like that. So. Just it's more like about consistency, how you gotta stay consistent, how you have to be in really great shape to be able to play 82 games and all of a sudden make that jump. So yeah, just that taught me that I have to work really, really hard, and I'm really excited. I get to go back, work on that, and next year come back and hopefully play in the playoffs.
Yeah. How much did your experience, especially early in the season, getting to start a number of games, playing a number of big regular season games, help you in your development and give you areas to work on this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect. You usually, when you're you don't know what's going to happen with your minutes, right? You expect to play a little later of the season, when sometimes guys are out, or something is happening. So for me, all of a sudden to start games and be part of what we did and being part of the winning, how much we won. It was amazing. I didn't expect it that early of the season, but I was really ready for it. I stepped up like some other guys who did, and it was a great experience. I mean, it was really great to play with those guys. I really enjoyed it, so it was good. Thank you, guys.
At training camp, so many of the goals you guys as a team discussed, having a top 5 defense, playing by committee on offense, making the playoffs, you guys were able to achieve. Just how proud are you to be part of a team that was able to do all that?
Super proud, It's my first year in the league, first set of teammates, so it was definitely a special group for me. And, I mean, yeah, we always believed in what we preached back in training camp, so no surprise to our group what we were able to accomplish this year, but it was obviously a lot of fun, and we loved all of it.
What stood out to you about your first year in the league?
Honestly, just how quick everything happens. Like, just it took me a little bit to get kind of settled into just like the scheduling and the travel and all of that. So I would definitely say that was like the biggest difference in like just prior things to the league, for sure.
Now that you've seen a full season and how this team has kind of grown over the course, how do you feel like you fit in these plans long term, and how do you feel like you can be a big contribution to the solution?
I mean, yeah, I feel like, that's a good question. Honestly, I mean, I feel like some of my strengths are just making my teammates better and making the game easier for my teammates. This year was kind of like, it was a lot of unexpected, so didn't really get to really see everything, but I'm definitely happy to just get back in the lab this summer and just get back to that creation and just things like that.
You've had a busy summer the last couple of years, obviously going to Arkansas and then coming here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about maybe not having so much big development over the summer, and how do you think that could help your game?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here for the summer. I'm gonna spend a lot of my summer here, just trying to stay in the gym, the weight room. I mean, yeah, it's easy when we have this nice facility and all these people around open to help. So definitely looking forward to having a full summer of work and just really focusing on my game and my body and just all type of things.
You know, Anthony, as you look at year one to year two, so many players in recent Magic history have made a big jump, whether it be Jalen, Franz, even Paolo going from rookie year to tremendous. How much does it, having going through everything you went through, from starting to playing minutes to watching, playoff games, help you with areas to focus on going into year two?
I mean, it was super helpful. I got to see some parts of my game that I need to work on, while also getting to just play honestly on a playoff level team. So I mean, I think all of it did a lot of good for me. Definitely be going back watching the film, seeing what we can get better on for sure. So all the experience, the playing, the not playing, it all helped. It's all good for character, and it's all good in the long run.
How much do you feel your shot making got better as the season went on? It looked like you got more and more confident, especially in that area.
Yeah. I mean, Jeremiah and I have been working hard on it since I got here, so it was definitely good seeing a little bit of results actually kind of early on. So I mean, I was definitely feeling a little more confident as the season went on, and hopefully next year we could just keep building on that.
I know it's hard to completely reflect, after the season ends just 24 hours ago, but, heading into this season, so many of your goals were to be a top 5 defensive team, do things by committee on offense, make the playoffs. For your group to accomplish all those things, just how proud are you of the collective of this group?
I mean, it just shows how good of a group we have. We're a fairly young team, and we set goals that we achieved this year. Of course, we wanted to go further in the playoffs. I think that's everyone wanted, but if you had to take a step back and actually look at the season, you had to say it's good, but we weren't satisfied at all, of course. But you have to say it was a hell of a season for us, for sure. So yeah, I'm still kind of reflecting back on it. It kind of seems surreal. Everyone packed to go to Boston. Everyone was locked in on getting to that next round. But I think it was a hell of a season for us, for sure.
You talked so much about wanting to be in the playoffs. Yeah. Did it? Obviously you said you're still reflecting on it, but did it live up to everything that you imagined?
Oh, absolutely. And it just shows home court advantage is a thing. That Game 7 was rocking. It was super loud. We couldn't even hear each other talking on the court. And that's the atmosphere that you want to play in. It's just a lot of excitement around the playoffs, of course, from the fans, from the team, to the coaches. Everyone wants to be there, and now I see why. So for me, it's nothing less than that. For this team, I want to, whatever I can, to help this team get back there and us to go further. That's all my mind is on going into the summer. Be as healthy as possible, be in the best shape, so we can be that top 4 seed in the playoffs next year.
Obviously, this year you kind of had that early season injury with the hand, kind of a freak thing. Yeah. How much did that affect you throughout the course of the season? Having to stop so suddenly at the start of the year.
It affected me in a lot of ways. Of course, physically. My hand, hurting, of course, but mentally, being out of the rotation for a while, just watching from the sidelines, us doing such a fantastic job, and then the pressure of coming back and picking up where Goga and Moe had left off. It was tough, and then it got to a point where I was doubting myself a little bit. Just being honest with it, but it was tough. It was tough, and I think a lot of people, outside of this facility, who was able to help me, encourage me, and keep me going, because it got to a point where I just felt like I wasn't good enough. But on the flip side of that, the fact that I was able to come back from that and help our team get to the playoffs and do what we did in the playoffs, I definitely give look at myself, and I'm happy that I was able to do that for this team.
You've been locked in for a long time, obviously, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Obviously, you'd rather be in Boston right now, but how does it feel, you know, how does your body feel just knowing it's over for now and you can kind of take a little bit of a break for a few weeks?
Yeah, the body's definitely happy right now. Just to kind of, you know, debrief, let the body rest, recover, knees, hips, you know, everything just kind of settle down. But like you said, like, no one wants to be here. But now that we are here, it's like, okay, now I got an opportunity to kind of let my body heal. So it's definitely a good and a bad thing, I would say.
Yeah. Dell, how much did you feel the fan support continue to grow this season?
Yeah.
You guys obviously had a tremendous home record, were perfect in the playoffs. How much did you feel that bond between your group and the fans continued to grow as the season progressed?
I mean, ever since I've been here, they've been rotted out, but it just shows that, you know, the more you win, the more fans. You know, being in the playoffs, those home playoff games were rocking. You know, Kia Center, you know, the fans, like, I just give a lot of credit to them for bringing that energy, especially us going down 0-2 so early. They came with that energy, and yeah, like, I give a lot of credit to them, and they was able to do what was necessary, you know, to help us win those 3 games that we had at home.
Obviously, the results would tell you that this team was special, but what made this group special in your mind?
I think the biggest thing was that, you know, we was led by committee. You know, no one cared about stats, minutes, recognition. Like, it was just about winning. And the fact that, you know, with us being such a young team, that everyone was able to buy into that is rare. Like, you know, I talk to a lot of guys around the league, and, you know, they tell me all the different stories that they've gone through on their teams. And, you know, the fact that I'm, you know, in this situation where 1 through 15, they all just want to win. They don't care how we do it, as long as we're winning. That's very rare to find in this league. So, yeah.
How much hungrier are you guys as a group, knowing that you got to the playoffs, you get a taste of it, but you weren't able to get a little bit further?
I mean, I think that's what's on everyone's mental going into this offseason. It's how can we get further? If that's, you know, taking care of our body a little bit more, if that's getting no more shots now, if that's whatever the case is, like, I think that's where everyone's kind of going into this offseason thinking, like, you know, we had a hell of a season, but we're not satisfied. We want to go further. You know, each year we want to be better, get further in the playoffs, you know, so of course winning a championship at some point. So, you know, I think that's what everyone is locked in on, is just what can we do this offseason to help us for next season to go further.
Wendell, a lot of the guys spoke about this idea of home court advantage and, you know, games in you know, January and February meaning a little bit more, you know, getting that home court advantage. Is that what you guys feel like? Is it maybe that next year the focus on trying to get maybe some of those games that you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's you know, you look back on it and, like, you win 1 or 2 more games, you know, we got home court advantage. So that's definitely you know, something we look back on and know that gotta, you know, be more locked in on those games, knowing that they can be the difference maker going into the playoffs. So yeah, for sure.
Del, you know how tough it is to be a young player in this league. To see what Paolo's done over the first 2 seasons, over the course of this year, and then into the playoffs, and then even, you know, what he did in Game 7. Yeah. Just how impressive is it for a young player to put together what he's done?
I mean, I don't think words can really describe how talented he is. And what's on top of all that is he's just a good person. You know, he's also, you know, of that crew that, you know, whatever it takes to win. You know, he does all the little things. You know, of course he's a phenomenal scorer, but he does all the things that, you know, that's necessary to win. You know, he's a phenomenal leader. He talks up. You know, for him to be doing that at such a young age, barely 21, or if he's 21, I don't even know if he's 21 yet. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. You know, I'm just glad to be on this be able to share a court with him. Yeah, the trajectory is, he's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure.
You guys have talked about how this year was kind of the culmination of 3 years. I know, I mean, this probably isn't what you want to hear right now, but how much does the way the season ended feel like part of the journey moving forward with this group?
I mean, I feel like everything happens for a reason. You know, from when I first got traded here to now, you know, it's obvious that we've gotten better on both ends of the court. We've got some veterans now in Joe, someone who brings a certain kind of leadership to this team that I feel like is necessary, you know, in order to win. And I mean, it just shows that we're continuing to grow. We're getting better each year. We've gotten better, you know, more wins. You know, now we went to the playoffs this year. But it just shows, like, you know, going into next year, you know, we got to come in with that same hunger. Not that we're a playoff team. Don't expect to, or we're going to easily get to the playoffs. Like, we got to look at it like we're still not a playoff team. You know, we got to go into that next season continuing to be hungry so we can get further. I think that's the biggest thing. I think we've done that, and yeah, I mean, the trajectory as well. I mean, we're doing really well, in my opinion. Like I said, I feel like we should be in Boston right now, but if we look back on the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like we've done a really good job of getting better each year.
What's up, Kel? How you doing? I still ain't got no donut on my face.
Good? Yeah, we're all good. Kel, I know it's hard to be reflective, you know, right after coming off a playoff series loss, but for you guys, you know, entering training camp, you had so many goals of being a top defensive team, doing things by committee, making the playoffs. For you guys to achieve so many of those goals, how proud are you of the collective group?
Extremely proud. I think for us being able to have a mindset, you know, starting last year of where we wanted to be and believing where we could be, and then going out and, you know, believing in one another and executing, you know, the game plan and making it as far as we did, you know, I think for all of us it's a huge accomplishment, you know, especially inside the organization with our belief system that we had, you know. So I'm extremely proud, not only of myself, but my teammates, this coaching staff, this organization, just for sticking with each other when no one else, you know, really believed in us and thought that we could do something special.
How much was this group able to grow into the identity of this team or the franchise's culture? How much did that shift happen this year, even more than last year?
Big time. I think you just see it from even last year, just being in close games, our understanding of how important the beginning of the season is because of the way we started last year, you know, with even unfortunate things with injuries and stuff like that. But it made us understand how important the beginning of the season is to have a good start and finish all the way through. And I think that's what you're seeing this year, just, you know, a different approach to the beginning of the season. Having guys healthy, having guys being able to, you know, be there for one another on and off the court and run out and execute to the end of the season and making it to the playoffs. I think it was big time, man. I think that, you know, the culture is just going to continue to build here. The experience is just going to continue to get better with, you know, young guys being able to get that playoff experience and understand how meaningful, you know, games are. And we're just going to keep going, man. And I'm super excited. I'm super proud, you know, of everyone on this team.
You mentioned health. How healthy were you? What were you battling with this year?
Yeah, I had my ups and downs, you know, little bumps and bruises on my knee, arms. But again, I'm just glad I was able to finish the season off healthy. I was able to start the season. Of course, I missed some games during the season, but again, being able to finish the year off with my brothers and be able to have that experience and, you know, the playoffs and make it to a Game 7 was huge for me. So again, I'm just grateful. All praise to God, you know, and just look forward to having a great another offseason.
When you look at your future, how much do you want to be a part of what Orlando's trying to do here?
I definitely want to be a part of it. You know, they've opened me with open arms here. You know, they've been very supportive of me through all the ups and downs that I have on and off the court. And, you know, of course you want to be a part of a young group who's doing great things. And just the culture here, you know, I got a lot of good people. I built a lot of great relationships here, not only with the staff, but with the organization. And I'm just excited for what the future holds, you know. Very open for everything and super excited.
How much was your personal confidence growing, being able to be a contributor for the team during the playoff series?
A lot, man. My confidence never really went anywhere. But again, being able to get chemistry with guys, being able to play with guys, being able to just be around your teammates all year round and just see what they go through on and off the court, and being able to have those, you know, tough conversations where you come out the other side feeling better about one another. It's huge, man. I think that, you know, we all understand the unique chemistry that this group had. You know, it's very rare, especially me coming from a different team before and understanding that, you know, it's not like this everywhere. You know, it's super special. And I'm super grateful and super thankful for it.
You know, Markelle, how much have you felt the fans embrace you this city over the course of the season especially, and how you guys were able to embrace that. How special is that bond?
Super special, man. Fans have been great to me since I came to Orlando. You know, they've been patient, they've been very supportive, and as you've seen, as we continue to get better, you know, they continue to show out, continue to be a huge factor in our wins at home, you know, this season. And I think we're extremely thankful for that. We go out there and try to play as hard as we can for the fans, and I know I'm thankful for it. You know, to be able to have that support behind you, it always makes everything a little bit better.
You know, you've played with some great players. You've seen great players throughout the league. To see what Paolo did over the course of the season, in the playoffs, in a Game 7, just how impressed are you with what you've seen from him?
I'm amazed. You know, I tell him all the time, you know, he's an extremely good player, but what I'm most excited about is how good he's going to be in years to come as he continues to learn more and more about the game. You know, he's only a year or two, and such a humble, such a hard worker, such a great young talent, man. And I'm just grateful I had a chance to play with him 2 years, you know, and be able to help him and also be on the court with him and see, you know, the amazing things that he's able to do. But again, I think that I'm most amazed by the person he is, you know, how he carries himself as, you know, just a super relatable dude who can, you know, he talks to everyone. He makes everyone feel special. So I think that just going to continue to help him grow on the court. And, yeah, it's amazing, man. Sometimes you just see him do stuff in the game and you're just in awe. And yeah, I'm just blessed. I'm blessed to be able to be on the court with him and be around him.
How much have you changed, I guess, just as a person, not just a player, since you came to Orlando? And it seems like the team has almost mirrored that since you've been here. It's been a giant rebirth.
A lot, man. I think everyone changes as the years go on, but, you know, one, I think being in the sunshine helps a lot, you know, coming back here and being able to enjoy this weather. But it's hard to be, I don't want to say a bad person, hard to, you know, make tough decisions when you're around such good people. You know, you're around so many good people that you just want to do the right thing. It's just natural. You feel comfortable enough to be yourself and understand that everybody's going to accept you for who you are. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's dope.
Markelle, you know this is a business. You've been a transaction before. Rosters aren't 100% every year. This group is tight. You guys just accomplished something that you set out to do. What do you want upstairs to do?
Shoot. Obviously, you know, if it was the perfect world, I'd keep everyone together. But I understand it's a business. I understand that, you know, some guys are going to be gone, some coaches might be gone. You never know. Some guys can be still together, but you obviously hope for the best. But understand that you can only control what you can control. And in my eyes, I always try to do that. You know, I always try to just control what I can control. Just be a great dude, work my ass off to, you know, be ready for the opportunity at hand and help my team win in any ways necessary. And that's all I can do. So.
Thanks, Kel.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Markelle.
Enjoy your summer, man.
You too. Gary, as you look back at this season, I know it's a little hard to disconnect after just finishing a playoff series, but as you look back at the goals you guys set out at training camp to be a top defensive team, to be an offense that does it by committee to make the playoffs, how proud are you of this group for accomplishing so many of those things?
I'm super proud. We did everything we said we were going to do. We believed at the beginning of the season. We believed how good we can be. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted it to end. But for us to get back to the playoffs, for a lot of guys to get that first playoff experience, get a Game 7 in, to play the game at the highest level, man. That's what you want to do, and that's what we were able to do. It was fun. Got a lot to learn from, and the goal is just to make this the norm. Got to do it all again next year.
A couple buckets here and there, and you guys are still playing. What is the ceiling for this core, the way this team is constructed right now?
I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit. Just got to continue to keep growing, keep learning, keep understanding the game. We played in some pretty big games, and some pretty big moments, especially for some young guys in this league, and just they've grown at an exponential rate, and I feel like they're only going to continue to grow, especially with this off season. Just getting this type of season under the belt, and just this is a working team. Guys are going to come back, they're going to get better. Guys are going to study film, and just guys want it. And I don't think anyone's satisfied, and I think that's the best part about this team. That shows you the sky can be the limit.
Gary, how challenging was this season with the injuries that you went through, and especially at the going into the playoffs and things like that?
I mean, injuries are part of it. I've dealt with plenty of injuries, my whole career. They suck, of course, but the training staff did a great job and helped me throughout the way. Get me back as fast as possible, and for me even to come back and play in the Game 7, they just did a great job and did all they could to put me back on that floor. So it's just part of it, and can't really think too much about it. Just enjoy the time I have with this team this year.
How meaningful was it to be out there yesterday after not playing against it?
No, it was great. You want to be out there with your brothers. We've been fighting all year. Just to go out there and compete with them, just try to do what we can and move on to the next round, man. We wouldn't want anything else.
Gary, with free agency and everything, how do you see your future with this franchise, and how would you like it to be?
I've enjoyed my time here ever since I stepped in Orlando. So it's been great. I love it. I've got nothing but great things to say about it. Don't know what free agency holds. Just take it one day at a time. But I love my time here. I love my teammates, and I feel like we've built something very special. So we just see where it goes.
Gary, you've been in other organizations. You've seen other organizations throughout the league from afar and talking to teammates. How unique is this location with the type of atmosphere here and the way these guys have grown together with you included?
It's just so unique because it's a bunch of guys. It's a young group, but everybody really likes each other, and it's like it gives you that feeling of like a college locker room, which is guys really spending time with each other, guys really hanging out, we're on the road, guys in the rooms just playing video games, talking, watching film, and just the togetherness that we've had as a team, is unique, and it's not normal on NBA teams, especially the older you get, especially on some of the older teams, but just being able to come to work every day and have fun and just enjoy the guys you're with, man, it was great.
How teams in this league can sometimes get stuck and never make the jump that this group made. To have been part of a Nuggets team that made that jump and then come here and have that, how much pride do you take that in it as an individual that you were able to help two different organizations grow?
It's just when you look back on it, it's just like it's just something cool to see. I've been thankful to be a part of two great organizations, around great guys, great staff, great teammates, and just be able to come together and just grow as a group. And just to come here, just leaving that situation to come here, you don't necessarily know what you're gonna get yourself into. But I walked into something and it was amazing. Just the time I've had with the coaches, my teammates, it's just been great. Just to see, it pay out in the win column. It's just that's what it's all about. You play the game to win. So just to get back playing in the playoffs, playing at the highest level, man, it was fun.
As you kind of step back and evaluate where you can play and all that stuff, how is playing in Orlando looked at across the league? Is this an attractive spot to be, or because of the togetherness, is it seen a little differently? What do you think?
I don't see why it wouldn't be an attractive spot to play. You see what we're building here. We got a state-of-the-art facility. The weather's great. We got a great coaching staff. It's just it's a lot of positive things going on here in Orlando. Just there's a reason why there's a little buzz around this team right now. Sure.
Thanks, Gary. State had so many goals coming into training camp, from being a top 5, top 10 defense to playing by committee on offense to making the playoffs. For your group to have achieved so many of those goals, how pleased are you with your group's effort in that?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. It kind of shows like all the hard work that we all went through at the beginning of training camp. How everyone's kind of just come together on and off the court. Yeah, I'm definitely proud for sure.
You got the opportunity this season to play in some meaningful games and play some meaningful minutes in those games. How much did you feel you started to grow over the season, and how valuable is that experience in your personal growth?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously the more you play, the more you get comfortable, the better you get. So I think definitely helped. I think being my second year, just being more confident out there, just knowing the game more, kind of knowing what to expect. The game definitely started to slow down a little bit for me, so I thought it was good.
When you look at this franchise moving forward, how optimistic is everyone about the future of where the Magic are going?
Yeah, I think it's real good. We got a lot of good young guys, good guys off the court. Everyone kind of meshes well with each other. So I think definitely headed in a really good direction for sure.
something on your personal game that you're looking to work on during the off season?
Yeah, just getting better. Defensively, being solid. Just working on my shot. Yeah, just trying to be just more solid. Work on decision making. Just the little things, try and help us win.
You've been often referred as like the first person in, last person out. Now with the off season coming up, how much do you want to pride yourself on being that hard worker?
Yeah, definitely take some time off, kind of refresh, but then get back to work. And just continue to work on my game for sure.
I think Coach is referred to as a machine at times because of how dedicated you are in your work effort. How does that process go of as you implement things in practice and working through implementing into the game? How did you start to feel that transition go as the season went on?
Sorry, you say it again?
So you put so much work in practice and stuff like that. How does that go about translating into a game? Did you start to feel the elements of the things you've been working on start to translate in there? And how do you feel maybe even more practice over the course of the summer, et cetera, will help translate into the game as you enter your third season in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the more you work on something, like the more confidence you get, and then kind of bring that confidence to the game. Like it's something that you've done 1,000 times in the gym, working out every day. So when you get in the game, it's kind of like you just do it. You know what I mean? So it's definitely just like a confidence thing from all the work you put in.
Completely reflective, just a couple, less than 24 hours after the season ends. But as you look back at your rookie season, what were some of the biggest takeaways for you?
It was great, in my opinion, just from a growing standpoint. Just learning, more concepts of, defensively, offensively, and just building a better connection with the team. Obviously, I thought it was a great season, winning-wise. We obviously wanted to go farther, but same with Osceola, but, we both lost to Cleveland, which was weird, so it's all right, though. We had a good season.
Jett, what's it like to be a part of an organization that has this run, that goes to the playoffs and gets to a Game 7? I mean, what's it like to be a part of that and go through that your first year?
It was crazy. It felt like a surreal dream. It was crazy to go to a Game 7 in our first year. I was just talking about it with AB. We were blessed, and just to see that environment was kind of cool, and it felt like 2K, to be honest with you.
Coach mentioned that one of the areas that the team's looking to improve on this offseason is shooting, and obviously you came in and have, worked on your shot in Osceola. How much do you look forward to possibly being part of that solution?
I really look forward to it. That's something I've always been able to do, and just having them trust in me to take those shots would be great. And he does, and I think we got a lot of great shooters from me, Caleb, Gary, Joe. It's just a matter of taking them. I feel everyone can really shoot in that locker room. So, yeah.
People talk about over the course of the rookie year, the game starting to slow down as you got more and more reps, whether it be in Osceola or in short stints with the Magic. Did you feel that the game's starting to slow down in a sense?
Yeah, more with Osceola. Just breaking down film with Dylan every day, and obviously playing a lot. I felt like it was probably the right decision for me to go down there and learn and grow every other day. So it definitely slowed down for me. Obviously, growing older helps with that too. But yeah, I definitely slowed down.
What do you see for your off season? Where do you want to get better? Where do you want to kind of grow from?
Defense. That's it. Defense and making open shots, pretty much that's it. And buying into whatever they want me to do. That's probably my biggest focus.
How much do you think your defense has improved this season, being around such a defensive-minded team?
This is probably the best defensive team I've ever seen and been around. Just from I know I'm biased, but I really feel like that. And everyone can guard 1 through 5, and it's kind of infectious when you're around it all the time. And I think I've grown tremendously because Osceola teaches the same exact stuff that and it has the same exact schemes that we have up here. So I think I've grown tremendously.
We've seen Magic rookies make tremendous jumps in year 2, whether it be Paolo, Franz, Jalen.
Yeah.
How much can what you've learned over the course of the season be applied this offseason for you to make a jump going into your second season in the league?
I definitely heard that recipe before. Just staying in here, pretty much the whole summer. I don't really plan on going anywhere. And I'm just learning and being around the coaches all the time and just getting more knowledge. So yeah, I think that would play a big part in it.
When you talked with Jeff earlier, was there any talk about possibly playing in Las Vegas for Summer League?
I didn't talk to him yet, but hopefully I want to play in Summer League. Yeah.
How difficult is it to try to crack playing time in Orlando when you look at the roster and know this is a playoff team?
I didn't really give that much thought, because my whole life I've been playing, and until I got to this team, it was like, all right, well, there's a lot of good guys on the team, as y'all can see, as we made this big run, and it was kind of good to be around that because you kind of got out your comfort zone a little bit, and it made me better, and I wouldn't ask for a different rookie season, honestly, to be real.
Were you given any piece of advice or anything to how to handle kind of going through the process with the league and then getting in some opportunities with the Magic?
I mean, to be honest with you, my dad, he played a big part in it, just telling me to stick with it, and this is like the trend of how it goes now in the NBA, and just buy into that and don't get in your feelings about this or that, and just stay on the course and stay on the process. Yeah. No problem.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Look at that. Drink holder. Should be sponsored by Pellegrino.
That's a good spot.
Joe, we've heard several times today this team, this culture. Well, everybody's talking already. Sorry. No, the team, the culture. It's different here. You've been in several spots in the NBA. How would you describe what your season was like here in Orlando?
It was special. I've been lucky to be around a long time in different teams in different countries and all over the place, and it is unique to have a group of guys that genuinely care about each other and want the best for each other and want to see other guys succeed and not just off the court, but when you get on the court, you can see that. I think it's pretty obvious to see the camaraderie, and not just with the players, but the staff we have and the coaching staff and the front office, like everyone in this building, and it's unique. Like it's just not like that everywhere, and that's the reality of the business we're in. There's a lot of like individualized things that push guys in different ways, and to have a young group that cares about each other and wants the best for each other is pretty special. So I'm glad as an old man I got to experience that with these guys, and being one of the only new guys that came in with the rookies, and being embraced for who I am. And I told them the day I got here and when I signed, like I was always going to be me, and they either like it or they don't, but I was always going to voice my opinion and try and help these guys, and whether I played 2 minutes or 30 minutes, I was always going to be the same. And it's been a hell of a year. It's been fun.
Is that an attractive thing for free agents, or does it depend where you are in your career, or how is coming here looked at around the league?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to come here after. I didn't know much about Orlando, to be honest, before, especially being in the West for so long. You only pop in, and we used to come in and smack you guys and kind of leave, and it was fun. It was a good trip. But obviously since being here and getting into the community and being around the guys, and I mean, we've loved as a family living here. My kids have loved it. My wife's loved it. Obviously, I didn't see, but having a facility like this, again, a unique group of guys that really care about each other, but also about winning. And for Jeff, a ton of salary cap space. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be attractive. Like, you've got two young stars that have proven what they can do on the court and how unselfish they are, and at that age and where they're at in their careers, and Jalen and all these guys that we've got. I don't know why guys wouldn't want to be a part of it. You get to live here in winter and play golf. And yeah, it's a wonderful place. Like I said, we really enjoyed it. my family loved it here, loved the organisation, and yeah, I don't know why guys would want to be here.
You mean you hit on that a little bit with the young guys and everything, but does that kind of probably help them out going on in the future when you look at what the success this franchise can have moving forward? I mean, because you have a lot of young pieces, you have a lot of togetherness that can really help them out in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think like as much as it sucks losing here in the playoffs and getting that experience for some of our guys, and I mean it proves why games in December and all that means so much. You know, like if we have home court and play Game 7 at home, does it make a difference? Who knows? We'll never know the answer to that, but does it make a difference? Like we showed how good we were at home this year, and like I said, for as hard as it is to lose and have to come in and do this today, there's so many positives over the next kind of couple months that guys will take away from it. And, like Franz is going to think about that game for a long time, but I guarantee you next year he's going to come out and be a ton better than he was this year, which was he was already super impressive this year. So good guys will all obviously go away now, and individually, like this is the time to figure out how you can get better, and then obviously bring that together as a group. Once front office does what front office does, you bring it in together and you figure out how we can get better from where we're at this year.
What does the off season look like for you? I know you've got Olympics potentially in July, and staying with families. What does the next couple of weeks look like before that?
I'm going to play a lot of golf. My kids are in school till 24th, I think it is. So I'll be dropping them at school and playing golf for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll head to LA. Spend our summer. We've been in LA the last few years now, and then start getting ready for the Olympics. And I'll meet with these guys just to build out that process of what that looks like. Do that. I think we got camp in Australia, and then go to Abu Dhabi, play some games, and then head over to Paris.
You touched a little bit on this with you guys' home court advantage this season. How much have you felt the city embrace this team, and how much they were able to support you guys both through the regular season and the playoffs?
Yeah, I honestly think, I think it got better as the year went on. I think we obviously started out well, and I felt like every game we just kind of it get fuller and fuller, and obviously towards the end of the year with how we were playing and the position we were in, and then obviously the playoff games were another level. And I think as a team and the city kind of embracing that, that's what you want. You want sold out arenas. We want to play in front of that crowd. We want to play with that noise. You want it to be a difference maker. You want teams to realize when they come to Orlando, it's not going to be easy. And I think with the group we've got and how we played this year, you add that to a crowd that can make a big difference. I don't know if they realize how big a difference they can make, but it makes a difference. And when it's like that, it's fun to play. It's no matter what arena you're in, when it's sold out and the crowd's into it, it's always fun. And when that crowd's not booing you and doing that, it's a lot more fun. So obviously we appreciate what they did this year, and for years past, obviously, but moving forward, just keep building that love and that support for the team. And it's a tough place to play when it's as loud as it was in the playoffs.
You've been around great players. You've seen great players grow. To see what Paolo did over the course of the regular season, the playoffs, and into Game 7, just how impressive is that for a guy of his age?
Yeah, I mean, I just said it to some, I've been lucky to play with some pretty good players in my career, and the thing that always kind of sets those guys apart is how hard they work and the dedication. It's not easy. You got a lot of people see the nice car and him having 30 on that, but the behind the scenes of what these guys do on a daily basis is not surprising to me, but it's probably surprising to a lot of people, the hours they spend on their craft. And yes, we get paid well and we do all that, but it's still it's a tough job to have to do what Paolo does at 21 years old. And between him and Franz embracing it, and I think throughout the course of the year they got better and better, and defensively taking on challenges, and coach challenging Paolo to to play more off the ball, play more on the ball front, like all these different things that you get thrown at you, and then you're also having the best defender on you every night. And yeah, just that growth throughout the year, I think, for what, 21 and 22 or whatever they are, as good as they are, they've still got potential to be even better, which is scary, but it's also amazing for Orlando and for the Magic. So yeah, I've enjoyed playing with them, being around them. They're great teammates, great guys. To have kind of faces of your organisation and those guys is pretty special.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. No worries.
Thanks, Joe.
Shoot low.
Yeah, as you guys, look back on the season, I know it's hard to be reflective just coming off fresh off a series, but as you look back, even at training camp, the fact that you guys were able to accomplish so many of your goals, from being a top defensive team, playing by committee, to making the playoffs, just how proud are you of your group's ability to do that?
Extremely proud. Extremely proud. The way that we fought, came together this year, continued to get better, ran with what coach instilled in us, and we're successful.
As you look at your individual season, the ability to play so many games, maybe reprove to yourself that you could do that and last over a whole campaign, just how proud are you of the work you put in with the coaching staff and training?
Yeah, it's awesome. Rolling into the season, there was definitely I'm still trying to figure it out, get my feet, grounded, and to have played the amount of games that I played, to battle the way that I did, I'm just grateful to the coach staff, to everybody, to God. I'm just gonna run into the summer moving forward, continue trying to get better, and look to have another healthy season.
How much were you able to kind of meet your individual goals for this year? Obviously, staying healthy was a huge part of it, but were you able to achieve what you wanted to coming into the year?
I say yeah, man. Just continue to reacclimate myself to just playing basketball again. But really, the biggest thing was just being healthy. So outside of that, everything to me was kind of just a bonus. And now rolling into next season, I can really try to hone my skills and get back to who I've been.
When you look back at this season as a whole, what stands out to you? What was something you'll remember about it?
Just the battle, man. There were so many times where we had our kind of backs against the wall, and we showed up. We played great basketball, defended at a high level, and so there's so many moments in this season to look back and say, man, we really did it, and to have a winning record and everything that we did was great.
How's your body reacted to playing in such an intense playoff series?
I'm good. I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, to have a summer where you don't have to focus on rehab, you can focus on your game. How big will that be for you individually?
I think it's gonna be huge. It's gonna pay dividends. And so take a little bit of downtime, but I'm ready to work and be ready for next season.
Is there anything you could take from Sunday's game for the future that maybe can inspire you, put a chip on your shoulder, or anything like that?
Get home court advantage.
That's what everyone seems to mention, is the idea of in January, February, those games do matter, for you guys. Is that something that's kind of been the message throughout for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, hindsight is 20/20. You can't take it back, but there were a few games that had we really locked in, we probably would have had home court advantage. So take that and roll it into next season. We know how important those games are. And just every game is important. And we had a few games that we dropped. Be a little careless and hit us.
Along those lines, how much did you see the fans embrace this team this year, from what you guys were able to do on the home floor, and how they showed out for you for regular season, playoff games, even watch parties when you guys were away?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think the fans were fantastic this year, the best that they've been since I've been here for sure. And so, I know they're going to be excited about next season and us continuing to get better, and it's going to be a great one.
Do you go into this offseason a lot more optimistic, obviously, what the future of this program?
Absolutely. One, we had such a young team. Guys are going to continue to get better, get older, get more mature. And then coming off of a Game 7 experience for all these guys, and myself included, I think that puts us in the right perspective rolling into next season. We don't want that to happen again. And so with that experience, with the growth through the summer, guys working, guys being together, we'll have a better season next year.
Maybe an odd question. The Judas shoes, how do they last for the year? What did you think of the performance?
I
do you have to tweak anything for the next year?
Nah, nothing. I'm working on the Judah 2 right now. So so excited about that. Judah One did really, really well. Sold out of a bunch of pairs, and so excited about that, and just want to continue growing the brand.
Yeah, you've played with some really good players. You played against some great players. To see what Paolo did, not only over the course of the season, but in the playoff series, in a Game 7, just how impressed are you with him as an individual and how he's performed?
He's special, man. To be such a young guy, to have the mentality that he does, he's special. He wants it. He plays hard. Franz included. He didn't have the best Game 7, but we wouldn't be where we are throughout the season without his phenomenal play. So both of those guys have been phenomenal throughout the season. They're both special players, and they're going to continue to get better and learn how to play off each other more and more. Looking for a great next season out of them.
Jonathan, this is a business. Rosters aren't 100% year to year. This group is really tight. You guys know what you can do. You just got a taste of something special. What do you want the folks upstairs to do?
Shoot. They got a job to do to figure things out. Obviously, it's never the same. It's just how the business goes. Love everybody on this team and wish everybody the best. Shoot, myself included. Wish hope everything works out and the team's able to stay together as much as possible. But we'll see, and we'll reflect and react, and we'll come in a training camp ready to work. And I think the heartbeat of this organization is togetherness and by committee anyway. So no matter who's here, they'll be integrated properly and be ready to play.
Next couple weeks, what is it for you? I mean, you're going to decompress totally?
Yeah, I got a baby girl home, 1-year-old, a wifey, so get some downtime, stay home a little bit. But I'm already itching. I'm already thinking about putting a plan together to come back, my best for next season.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the day.
For whether it be being a top 5 defensive team, doing offense by committee, or making the playoffs, just how proud are you to be part of a group that was able to accomplish all of those things?
I'm very proud of this group. I'm very proud of how this season went. To a lot of people, it might have been a shocker, but to us, this is what we was planning to do from the start, even from building off of last year. So yeah, I'm very proud of what this group accomplished this year, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go from here.
What would you like to improve on in the offseason in your game?
I just keep on building from where I left off at. Keep working on my shooting, keep just working on my all-around game, keep watching the game, keep getting better, try to dissect different things, and just try to see how to keep trying to have a little finesse to the game, and just how to read the game more, and how to make better reads, and just a lot of stuff that'll happen like if I watch more film. So yeah, I feel like my off the court stuff should be a lot better.
Have you spoken with the coaches yet? What has kind of the coach's mindset been to you as you approach this offseason?
Yeah, I spoke to him a little bit just to keep watching the game, keep dissecting the game, keep trying to be a playmaker, and just just keep having fun with it.
What have you learned personally, just being part of this team, growing and building, seeing it from pretty much the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
How much have you learned through seeing this process through?
I say I learned quite a few just, coming in straight from college off of my rehab ACL injury. So just doing that, I learned a lot about my body, and then, putting this team together, I just learned how to be a pro, how to take care of my body, how to, this is a long season, so we got to stay available. So, thank God I was healthy this whole season. So, just how to take care of my body and how to play the game at an NBA level.
You look at your free agency status. Do you want to stay with the Magic? Is that kind of your goal?
Yeah, I love to stay with the Magic. What we built here since I first got here has been nothing but greatness, and I can just see what the future is just going to keep getting better and better. And as far as the city, I love the city, Orlando. So yeah, I wouldn't want to leave, but we'll see what happens.
And how much have you felt that fan support continue to grow here, and the city embrace this team? I mean, obviously, you guys played so well at home at the course of the regular season, and were perfect in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. When I first got here, I remember all our home games, well, at least most of our home games, they used to feel like away games because you always hear the crowd chanting the other team name. I guess they coming for Disney or whatever, but now, like, all our home games, it's a home game, and they for us and with us. And it showed this year with our win percentage at home. So, you know, yeah, it was a big impact for sure.
Any new music dropping this summer? I've heard about a track or two you have in the works.
I don't know yet. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. Of course, I'm gonna be doing music. You know, I love music. That's my hobby. That's something I love to do. But yeah, whenever I got time, I'll hop in the studio. But I don't know if I'll release something yet, though. I guess we'll have to stay tuned for that. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You know, coming into training camp, this group talked about, you know, being a top 5 defense, doing things by committee on offense, making the playoffs. To be part of a group that was able to accomplish all those goals, you know, how proud are you to be part of that?
I'm very proud. This is my 3rd year in Orlando, so I've pretty much seen the groundwork that's been done. It was here since Mo's first year. And it's a special group. I think there is value in keeping guys together. There's value in trusting in your draft picks. There's value in really doing your homework on, you know, the guys that you have on your roster and your team and in your locker room. I feel like in every little way, every piece that we've had on this roster has really propelled us to be in the position that we are now. You know, first round, you know, that's a big accomplishment. We have bigger goals, but, you know, for us, it's just about the continued steady pace of increase and getting better and progression in our performance. And it's a testament to the work, you know, and we thank the DeVosses and the front office for really investing in us and getting us a new facility, and also investing in the staff and getting people on the staff that can really help us stay healthy. And I think that's one of the biggest things too, is just all around we've improved on the court, we've improved in the training room, we've improved in the weight room, and it really showed this year. And with the constant work and the belief that the guys have in this organization and what Coach Moses is trying to, you know, instill in us and in this group, you know, it's just amazing to see the achievements that we have gotten this season, and just the moments and the memories that this group has shared. A very special group. You know, a tough way to go out in Game 7, but I think we all look forward to, you know, the future and what else is what's next for this group, and what things look like in the future. So
we've all kind of noted how close this group seems. Like everyone kind of says, this feels like a college team atmosphere. Yeah. What made this group so close and so special?
I think the biggest thing is just really just personal time, getting to know each other, you know, having deep conversations, eating together, you know, just always being around each other. And, you know, you don't find that a lot in the NBA, guys that really enjoy being around each other. I mean, as soon as we get around each other, it's like we you know, it's almost like we live together. How much every guy has a relationship with each other. It's pretty interesting, but I think the biggest thing is just the togetherness that is shown in the locker room. You really see it on the floor. And for us, it's just about continuing to improve on that. And, you know, like my job this season was really managing that and helping guys, you know, stay on track and also bringing guys together. So the biggest thing is just understanding that from here on out, this is a stepping stone and a building block, and there's always ways to improve. And I think that even with how together we were this year, we can be even more together going into next season. So just one of the things that we hang our hat on, but I think that it's a testament to the character of guys that we have in the locker room.
This is such a young team. How do you think you guys will respond to getting to Game 7 and the way it ended? How do you think that will carry over into next season, maybe as a chip on the shoulder?
Yeah, you know, what I noticed in this playoffs is the term young team. You know, we are younger, but we've had a lot of experience. We've been in big games for the last 3 years. I wouldn't say that it was a pressure situation in Game 7. It just comes down to execution, you know. A missed shot here, a made shot there, the game's different, you know. 2 less turnovers or 3 more rebounds, the game's different. So basketball is just a game of runs, and it's a game within the game. It's a lot of different games going on, you know, winning the rebound battle, winning the turnover battle, things like that. So for us, it's just growth in those aspects and understanding, hey, you know what, in the playoffs, possessions matter even more, you know. So for us, it's just that growth piece, and just, you know, taking that and progressing. I feel like we achieved a lot this year for, you know, what we had to work with, in the sense of just coming together and really believing in the work we've been putting in. So I think the main focus is just continuing to believe in that and focusing on that, and not letting the moment get too big. You know, we are younger, but for us, that's an advantage, not a disadvantage. So just continuing to progress on that.
individual, you mentioned your role is kind of a lot more kind of behind the scenes in the locker room. Individually, you didn't get maybe a ton of playing time on the floor, but where did you see your game grow, or where did you see yourself develop?
I think the biggest thing is I got an opportunity to get very healthy this year. I haven't really felt the best, in these last 2 years, but I had an opportunity to get really healthy, work on my athleticism, really learn the game on a different level, really get a coach's perspective as a player and understand this league and this organization on a different level. So I've had a great opportunity to learn a lot more stuff outside of basketball, but also what goes into really helping a team succeed and helping a team, in every aspect. So for me, this year was just about, valuing whatever role was given, and just trying to be the best in that role. Going forward, every player wants to play, but for me, it was just about helping these guys win, and whatever that looked like, I just wanted to be a part of that. So going forward, I would love to play, but if this was another role I had to play again and we could keep succeeding, I would, because these guys are special, and I know they value what I do, and I definitely value the work that they put in every day.
How far do you think this group can go next season?
The sky's the limit. I thought the sky was the limit this year. Like I said, it just comes down to execution. Like I said, we fine-tune those things. I think we're pretty dangerous. It's just about keeping the group together and, focusing on what we need to improve on. And I would say just watching a lot of basketball. Film always helps. So.
I hate that. We got it before it came. Jalen, I know it's hard to go back and be completely reflective just at it, getting off a playoff series, but the fact that going into training camp, you guys accomplished so many of the goals you set out to do, whether it be being a top 5 defense or playing by committee on offense, making the playoffs. Just how proud are you of the group being able to achieve all those goals?
I'm very proud. I think everybody should be proud. Fall up short of things, it sucks. It hurts in the moment. As you continue to look back on them, as you continue to start to see the little moments, little things, teaching moments, and all the growth that has come and occurred along the way, I think you can find some peace in it, and I think that's where I'm at. The year, how much fun I had with these boys, the memories that are going to last, from just this year alone, are special ones and one I'll always cherish, and again in that conference. So tough, learned a lot.
Coming to work now compared to when you first got on this team, how different is it when you're on a team that is competing and trying to win playoff games than just trying to get a win?
It's a lot different. I think the approach all year has been different, just in terms of how we're coming in to practice, how we're treating practices, how we're treating games, how we're looking at wins and losses. It's no longer about just personal growth and everybody being comfortable. Now it's about, we want to keep getting better individually, but better as a team comes into play, and how we're doing as a whole, starts to take over, individual goals and things like that. So I've loved it. I thought this year was so much fun. I miss playing for something at the end of the year. I miss playing meaningful basketball games where it's not just a set point into the year. Now it's in your control, it's in your hands, and I think we all learned a lot. I think it was good for us to go through this and carry this, into the rest of our careers.
Jalen, there's been a lot of talk. Jamahl mentioned this earlier about the importance. One of the lessons learned is the importance of home court advantage for you guys. In January and February, when you guys are playing games that maybe you're not locked in as much, how important do you think is that going to be the key for you guys going forward?
Very. Me and Joe talked about it a bit as well playing yesterday. Again, as you look back and start to reflect on the year, on what ifs and certain situations, you wish you take a Wednesday night game a bit more serious. You wish you take 3 games before night. That second game, you wish you're a bit more locked in, than you were in the moment. And all those things come, again, as you reflect, as you look back. You don't really feel them or notice them in the moment. But moving forward, those are the things that you remember. That's how you grow as a pro, as a person. All those things are taken into account. All those things will be applied. A lesson learned and not applied, is the only loss I feel like that you can take. So, continue to apply those things and learn from them.
Jalen, we spoke to you at Media Day back in October, and you talked about how you had a very transformative offseason last year. And now that it's led to a lot of personal success, probably your best season to date, and the team's best season to date, how do you take this next offseason and build upon it?
I think the same way I did this offseason, just be more detailed. Be more detailed in some of the work, some of the aspects, the areas of my game I want to get better at. More spiritually, more internally, continuing to grow in that sense, because I feel like that helped me make the jump. That was the biggest factor in me making the jump. So, yeah, again, a lot to be excited about, a lot to be happy about this year, and a lot to look forward to going forward. And this summer is, I think, going to be real, much like the last, in terms of how serious approach to getting better, how I lean into aspects of my game, aspects of myself as a person, and getting ready to give the city everything we can.
You touched on the city. You guys have embraced the fans have embraced you. How special have you felt that bond start to form, and how much this city embraced this team this season?
Very much so. I mean, it's apparent. All the love that was given, cheering, positive words, positive messages. Just every day we had a home game, just getting to walk through the tunnel and get hugs and receive love and have conversations. Just different people who live here, different people who lived here for a while, who've been Magic fans for a while, who just recently become Magic fans. Just anybody gets to come in that building and experience the energy, the joy, the connectedness that we have, as a team, that the team has with the fans. I think it's special. It's something that I love being around, and I want to continue to be around.
Jalen, what are the next couple weeks going to be like for you? A lot of guys talked about deconnecting, kind of recharging. What's it going to be like for you in the next couple weeks?
Decompress, enjoy family time, enjoy my people. This business takes a lot of time and energy, especially these last, I'd say, about a month. Very much energy consuming, and just not a lot of time for many family, many friends. Just the nature of the business, and comes with the approach. I think leading into playoffs, eliminating distractions is an important part of that. Not that family's ever a distraction. It can take your energy in different ways. So continuing to get back with them, get close with them, catch up with everybody, and just enjoy being, not a basketball player, but a human being.
Jamahl talked about how much better this team got kind of jumping into this season. Gary talked about how much of a working team this is. How much of a hunger is there to take another step up after what you just experienced?
Very much so. All of us are so young, competitive. We're driven by that and by the joy of playing with each other. And wanting to keep this unit together as long as possible. And I think that's the part that hurts so much about losing. But all of us continue to work, continue to get back in the lab. We don't want to feel this again. Not at this stage, not at this point in the year. So that'll definitely be a motivation factor. We're all so close that we're going to continue to work together, continue to talk and grow, individually as a unit, basketball players as humans. I think that's a dope part about being here.
Thanks, Jalen.
Appreciate it. It's hard to be reflective just coming off a series in a Game 7, but for all the goals you guys set out to accomplish this season, being a top defensive team, playing by committee, making the playoffs, just how proud are you of the group to have achieved so many of those goals?
Yeah, really proud. I thought we had a great year. It was a lot of fun playing with these guys. Our vibe was really cool all year. I think everybody really enjoyed coming here every day and coming together as a group, and that's the coolest part.
Franz, what will stand out to you about this season when you look back on it?
I think that feeling of just how connected we were as a group. Obviously this the only team I've been on, but I was told a bunch this year that this is not normal. What we have here, and it's on everybody to keep that going, hopefully. But that was the coolest part. I would say that's what I'll remember most.
When you have a game like you did yesterday, how much does that stick with you, and how much are you able to compartmentalize and get past that?
That's gonna stick with me all summer. Hopefully I can, use it as motivation and fuel that the right way. But yeah, obviously super frustrating.
Everyone's talked about the importance. What they've learned is the importance of getting that home court advantage in the playoffs. And even Jamahl talked a little bit about, like, you know, in January and February, how some of those games are going to be crucial for you guys. Is that kind of the message you felt like throughout this playoffs? Is that the importance of getting home?
I mean, obviously, if you look at the series, couldn't win on the road, so you know, that definitely hurt us. But also felt like we had great chances in a lot of these games, even on the road. And but yeah, it's definitely a lot harder, you know, to withstand those runs on the road. Yeah, gotta give Cleveland fans some credit too. They definitely showed up, and same here though. I think the whole team felt that. You know, the crowd at home was awesome, and yeah, definitely makes a huge difference.
You've been locked in for a long time, obviously coming into the season having FIBA and then, you know, having the success that you guys had through the season, playoffs. You know, you've been locked in physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually for a long time, and then you've got the Olympics coming up. So how much are these next couple of weeks going to be for getting you to kind of get a break from being so locked in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a part of it too. For sure going to take some time off. I think the most important thing is, you know, getting your mind right and getting some energy back, and that's definitely yeah, super important, and it's all due in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
You touched on a little bit with Matt, but how much have you feel the fan support continue to grow this season, and the unique bond between, you know, your group and the fans collectively, you know, growing together?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, obviously, through my couple of years here now, you know, you can really feel the excitement in the city, and you know, for this team, and how they appreciate us, and you know, that's a really cool feeling, I think, to have as a team, to know that you have the whole city behind you, and yeah, it's definitely a super cool feeling.
When you look at, you know, different numbers throughout the course of the season and in the postseason, you and Paolo as a duo were able to do something that a lot of young, you know, duos were unable to do over the course of their young career. How proud are you of the bond you guys are forming, and excited are you for the future of that to continue to grow?
Yeah, it's I mean, I said it all year. It's super fun playing with Paolo. I think the coolest part is that he's you know, a great player, but even better human. He's super normal, super humble, and I think that sets the tone for the whole group. So yeah, I'm super excited for the future, and hopefully we can, you know, keep getting better.
Franz, I know it's a little disappointing now, but do you look forward to the future and see a lot more positivity about how the direction of where the franchise is going?
Oh, of course. Very optimistic about the future. Like I said, I think we're going in the right direction. We had a great year. And yeah, obviously I'm still a little frustrated from last night, but I think there's a lot we can be proud of, and we can build on.
How do you separate what happened last night and what you guys accomplished throughout the whole year and in the postseason?
I try to do my best, but right now, you know, obviously last night is kind of at the front of my mind. Probably going to take me a little bit to, you know, really reflect on obviously the whole year. But I mean, even during the season, I try to do my best to, you know, remind myself how cool it is to really be excited to come to work every day, and you know, and enjoy this process as a group together. I think that's, like I said, super special in this league, and I'm well aware of that.
How different is it coming to work when you're on a team that's fighting for playoff wins instead of where this team was when you got here?
Yeah, way different mindset, way different urgency needed every day, different focus. I mean, that was not my first team I played on, a good team, but obviously in the NBA, with everything that comes with it, it was first time for me too. And yeah, to keep that up over a long stretch is not easy. So I think that was also a big learning for me, or for everybody this year, to, you know, get used to that.
Franz and Moe talked about disconnecting over the next couple of weeks, just maybe even not picking up a basketball at all. Is that the same mentality you kind of want to have over the next couple of weeks?
For sure, yeah. Don't know exactly how long, but like I said, rest and just getting the energy back and resting the mind a little bit is really important.
Thanks, Franz.
Thanks, Franz.
Appreciate you. What's up?
What's going on?
I know it's hard to be reflective in a moment, just after a playoff series. But when you look back to when you started training camp, so many of your guys' goals, whether it be defensive, the way you play on offense, making the playoffs, you guys achieved. Just how proud are you that you guys were able to do it in the fashion that you wanted to?
I think, the first word that sticks out isn't proud, it's more grateful. It's not like this everywhere in the NBA. And I think everybody in this building feels a very high level of appreciation to be here and cherishes every single day in this building around these people. And it's so much easier to work hard when you feel comfortable and content in an environment, and I think everybody feels that here.
Does it feel like, I know it still stings a little bit because of the way things ended, but does it feel optimistic? Do you feel kind of going into the future for this franchise that things are on an upswing?
Yeah, of course. I think that's pretty obvious that there's a trajectory, there's the right trajectory going on, that people pull on the same strings, and kind of want to go somewhere here. And good things take time, I think this is a great step. Obviously, I'm a big believer, and you don't have to lose in order to learn. Unfortunately, it seems to be part of it. And understanding where we came from 2-3 years ago when Moe first got here, we were a half away from advancing to the second round. So there's definitely a lot of silver linings for us as a young group. And we're going to embrace that this summer and we're going to come back stronger.
You may have to mince words here, but because I don't know what the tampering was. But as players, how is Orlando viewed? Like, if there's a free agent, from the outside, what do you think people think of coming to play here? Because I know there was a stigma a few years ago.
I don't know, man. I don't. To be honest with you, I really enjoy it here. I love it here. Obviously, it helps when you can go outside in a t-shirt in December. But no, this is a great spot, and mainly because of the people in this building. I don't really care what other people think about it. It's a really cool spot to be in.
Is there something you can take from yesterday's game that maybe that you can use to motivate yourself or motivate your guys?
That home court matters, and that sounds simple, but a 9-point lead on the road just feels a lot bigger than a 9-point lead at home, or what was it? Deficit, not lead. It's just a lot harder to make up, and I think that's something you got to keep in mind when you play games in January and February. That those games matter because you want to set yourself up for a successful playoff run, and certain things you don't know till you experience them, and I think this is one of these things. And
Where do you think you've grown most in your personal game?
I think I don't know. I haven't really thought about it much. I've embraced being in a moment a lot this year. Haven't really read a lot of media or even watched that many games for that matter. Just because I wanted to be so. I wanted to embrace the moment here in this building and have the mental freshness, I would say, to come in here every day and give it my best. I think I've made a step in efficiency, understanding how I get my shots, creating like a sufficient way of scoring and creating shots for others. And another focal point for me was to be more disciplined, especially on the defensive end, but I think that translates on both ends. And it's obviously a work in progress, but I'm very happy with where I'm at there.
With the Olympics coming up pretty soon, what are your plans for the summer as far as training for that, assuming you are?
Yeah, that is close, huh? First of all, this came unexpected. I didn't really think we were going to be here today. I'm gonna need a couple weeks to decompress. Probably not gonna touch a ball for a couple weeks. But like you said, the Olympics in the middle of the summer, so you can't really not train. So we're gonna regather our thoughts and then probably get going back in Germany in June or something like that. But yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Mo, the folks upstairs always feel like, you know, there's a need to tinker with the roster. You may know the piece that you guys need to get over the top, but what do you want to see them do this offseason to either bolster this team, run it back, or whatever?
I appreciate you asking that, but that's not a question for me. That's a question for the folks upstairs, like you just said. Again, I'm very grateful for the group that was around here this year, and I truly mean that. Because this is my 6th year, and again, it's not like this everywhere. So, yeah.
You mentioned the group as a whole, and it probably won't be the same fully in the next season. So,
No.
how does it feel to mourn the loss of the group not being fully together anymore?
We'll still talk about basketball team here, but I mean, obviously it sucks, right? Turnover is pretty constant in this league. It's part of the business, but I think we've done a good job embracing that all year, knowing that this group won't stay forever. It's just part of it. And I think everyone will tell you that, yeah, we really embraced that and didn't take that for granted.
Talk about decompressing when you're not picking up a basketball. What is that, in your mind, what does that entail? Does that just getting away, you won't watch any NBA playoffs from here on out? What does that entail?
It's a good question. I'm going to figure that out. I will say that this is as fun as it is, and it's an awesome job as it is. It's very taxing, and there's a big relief when the season is over because it's a lot of pressure mentally. It might not seem that way because roles might be so small, but you're under constant mental pressure to perform every day, and you put yourself under that. So I kind of enjoy not being a basketball player. Whether I train or not, go out with my family, sit in a restaurant, don't think about basketball constantly, to be mentally refreshed and just be a human being without that constant pressure to having to perform.
You've had that added mental pressure being in this playoff series. Now that you know what that is like, how is that going to help you and the team next year or the years to come?
Well, honestly, what it told me more than anything is that we're not that far away. I think that's something we got to take away from this, that what we're doing here in this building translates, and it's not just regular season basketball. It translates in the postseason, and we won half away of going to the second round. And you never know what happens with matchups, injuries. So that's what tells me this playoffs experience especially. I mean, this is 3 years in and building, and I think, like we said, the trajectory is upwards, and I'm very grateful to be part of it.
Does it surprise you that Paolo is this good, this fast in his career? I mean, obviously you've been around him since the beginning, but...
No, I wouldn't say I'm surprised by that. I'm amazed by it. I think, as everybody, it's incredible. Not only Paolo, I mean, obviously Paolo deserves so much credit, but I think the whole group is it's truly special, and even Paolo would tell you that what makes this team good is that we're super deep, and everybody has a huge role, and everybody embraces that in some shape or form. But obviously, Paolo is our leader. Being an all-star in his second year is incredible, and it makes you very happy as a teammate because he's a great guy, and that's what matters more.
You have such an appreciation for playing here. What is it like to have the opportunity to play with Franz and to live with him, and just the brother aspect of competing at the highest level together?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you don't really we embrace it, but I don't think we can fathom it quite. We'll tell our kids about the stuff we experience together, the time we get to spend together as a family, be able to spend Christmases and birthdays and all that stuff together as a family as a whole in this industry with both guys playing in the NBA is super unique, and we know how to appreciate it. yeah, it's a crazy life, and that's why I'm putting a lot of energy and being with 2 feet in it, and not worry about anything else too much.
How did you guys, brothers, how did you cope with what happened yesterday? I mean, what was the conversations like between the two of you?
It hasn't been 24 hours. Sometimes there isn't a lot of conversation. I always go back and forth because I also try to remember it's just a game, you know. You can't win them all, and again, you're a human being. I don't want to be too philosophical, but you got to move on. You got to live on. You got to. It's not gonna take my joy away from the game, and I think the same with Franz. It's gonna sting. It's supposed to sting, and we're gonna think of this when we work out this year. I think everybody in this building will, and we'll get better from it.
Thanks, Mo. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Have a good summer.